All right, let's talk about something we all hear constantly, that every single person, every single business just has to be on social media. We're told to be always on, but is that really smart? Let's dig into it.
Okay, so let's just start right here with this quote because it really gets to the heart of the matter. Now, this might sound completely wild in today's world, but it's a super important point. The idea that you have to have a social media presence, well, that's the myth we're here to bust.
And here's exactly why that statement is so crucial. You've probably seen it, right? When companies just jump onto social media with no real plan, their efforts are, well, haphazard. They're just throwing stuff out there, chasing whatever's trending, and it ends up being a huge waste of time and money. It's pretty much just shouting into a very crowded void.
So, okay, how do you avoid just wasting all that time and energy? Well, it all starts by taking a step back and asking some really critical questions before you even think about posting anything. And here they are, the big three. Think of these as the absolute foundation of any good strategy. First, what's your goal? Like, what are you actually trying to accomplish? Second, what's your message? What do you want to say? And third, who is your audience? Who are you trying to talk to? If you can't answer these three things clearly, you're just not ready. All right, let's tackle another huge myth, and this one's a biggie. The idea that social media is free. As we're about to see, not only are there very real costs, but there are some even bigger risks involved. Yeah, sure, making an account doesn't cost a dime, but that's where the free part ends. The reality is that the real cost is in people. It takes a ton of time and effort from actual humans to create content, monitor conversations, and engage with people in a meaningful way. And here's why it's so resource-intensive. Social media, well, it literally never sleeps. It is always on 24/7. The conversation doesn't just stop when you clock out for the day.
And that 24/7 nature, well, it comes with a huge risk. Think about it. A massive crisis for your company, something that could seriously damage your reputation, can blow up overnight while your entire social media team is fast asleep. The stakes are incredibly high. So you might be thinking, with all these costs and all these risks, why even bother? Well, because when you do it right, it's not just about posting stuff into the void. It's about achieving something much more valuable, real engagement.
And when it's really humming, social media can do so much for you. You can use it to inform people, to entertain them, to persuade them, even to sell things. But the real magic, it's in building actual relationships and sparking communication. And that brings us to the most important word of all, engagement. And look, we're not just talking about vanity metrics like likes or how many followers you have. Real engagement is about starting actual two-way conversations with the people you're trying to reach. It has to be a dialogue, not a monologue. I absolutely love this quote because it's just so direct and so true. Without engagement, social media is nothing more than clutter and noise. If you're not getting people to talk back, to interact in a real way, then you're just another voice in a sea of static that everyone's trying to ignore.
But here's where things get a little tricky. How do you actually get that engagement? It turns out the things that often work the best can put you in a really tough spot, ethically speaking.
A big part of the issue is the world we live in now. You've got this rise of citizen journalism, right? Basically, anyone can publish anything, anytime. And because of that, the line between what's a real, verified fact and what's just someone's hot take gets super, super blurry.
And this leads to a classic catch-22 for communicators. We know that really strong, provocative, even controversial opinions are what get people talking. That's what drives engagement. But those exact same posts can be really misleading, inflammatory, or just plain unethical.
So what do? It really boils down to this fundamental choice. Do you chase those clicks and comments by posting risky stuff? Or do you take the high road, the more responsible route, even if it's maybe not as flashy or sensational? So how do you solve this puzzle? Well, the answer is to stop thinking of social media as its own separate little kingdom. It can't just operate in a silo. It has to be woven into your bigger public relations strategy. And here's why that connection is so critical. Your PR team should really be overseeing all the messages that go out. They're the ones who make sure that every tweet, every post, every single thing you say lines up with what your organization is actually about, its mission, its vision, and its core values. So we'll leave you with this final question to chew on. Think about your own social media feeds or the brands that you follow. Is what you're seeing a real conversation, or is it just clutter? The answer to that question pretty much tells you everything you need to know. Thanks for tuning in.